To Black History Month, the USS Hornet Museum in Alameda offering a special exhibit that honors African Americans who distinguished themselves in the military, but whose stories are seldom told. KPIX 5's John Ramos has our story.
The U.S. military was the first American institution to fully accept and integrate African Americans into its ranks. And it has become one man's mission in life to make sure their contributions to the country are not forgotten. When Leon Watkins enters the lower deck of the USS Hornet Sea, Air, and Space Museum, he is excited, not just by the past, but by what the future might hold.
Like a kid in a candy store. We get a chance to uncover history that most people have never heard of or were never taught.
And that history is deeply personal to him. His exhibit, entitled The Walking Ghosts of Black History, traces the little-known and seldom taught contributions of African Americans in the military. Watkins' journey as a historian began in 1989 when the Marine vet was cast as a soldier in the movie Glory about the 1st Black Regiment during the Civil War. Since then, he has devoted his life to telling the stories of others.
Each one of them raised their hand to say, "This is what I'll do."
You may have heard of Dory Miller, a galley worker who manned a machine gun during the attack on Pearl Harbor. But there's also Cathay Williams, who disguised herself as a man during the Civil War to become the first black woman to serve in the military. Major Robert Lawrence was chosen as a Gemini astronaut, but it was kept secret because he worked for the CIA.
They all felt by being the first that they were opening the door for other African Americans and actually showing that it can be done.
But sometimes history demands a sacrifice. Ronald McNair became the first African American to die in space as a crew member of the ill-fated Space Shuttle Challenger. And in our own backyard was the Port Chicago disaster, where 200 ill-trained black sailors were killed in a horrific explosion at a munitions loading dock. Later, 50 sailors refused to work and were court-martialed for mutiny. Do you consider them to be heroes for standing up to that?
Yeah, I believe anyone's a hero that stands up for injustice, and that's what these men went through.
Laura Fees, the Hornet Museum's executive officer, says museums are feeling a growing responsibility to portray American history in realistic terms, even when it's unflattering.
You should be in a constant state of improvement, and I think history is a really good lesson to look at that and be like, let's see what happened, the good, the bad, the ugly, let's acknowledge it, and let's learn from it and grow.
The military was officially desegregated in 1948, but African Americans have been sacrificing for this country since it began. Watkins thinks it's time their stories are told.
How many African American lives were lost in the fact of standing tall, coming to defend this country, believing in what they were doing?
In Alameda, John Ramos, KPIX 5.